Today we're going to learn about geometric sequences. This is when the difference between successive terms has a common ratio, where r is equal to the common ratio. So for this first problem, what is the value of r? Let's try to figure out what the ratio is between the successive terms. So if we have 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16, for all these problems, the ratio is something that you multiply the first number by to get its successive term. So what do you multiply 1 by to get 2? Well, you multiply it by 2. And so we see that this is actually the ratio. You multiply by 2 at each step, and you get the next number. Therefore, the value of r is 2. How about for this next one here? In this problem, we want to find what the value after 375 is. So first we have to figure out what the ratio is. So we have -3, 15, -75, and 375. From 3 to 15, we can multiply by -5. And from 15 to -75, we also multiply by -5. And so the ratio here is -5. So we have r is equal to -5. Now using that knowledge, we can assume that the value after 375 is again multiplying by -5. So we're going to take the value 375 and we're going to multiply it by -5, and we're going to get a value of a -1875. So our value of x is -1875. And finally, the question is, what is the seventh term of the sequence? So this one's a little bit more tricky. In order to find an unknown term of the sequence, we need to figure out the equation for the sequence. So let's do the same thing we've been doing. 1, -4, 16, -64, and 256. And you see that to go from the first term to the next, you multiply by -4. So our r is going to be -4. Now there's an equation we can use for a geometric sequence. You're going to take the first value, so the new value of a is going to be the first value, a1, times the value of r to the power of n minus 1. So our an is unknown, and our first value is 1, multiplied by the value of r, which is -4, to the n minus 1. Our n here is the seventh term, so our n is going to be 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. And thus, our value of n is going to be equal to -4 to the 6th power, which is going to be 4096. So that is the seventh term.